Welcome back to More Wealth Retirement Talk, the podcast where we help you make smarter decisions with your money so you can live more fully today and retire with confidence tomorrow. I'm Dave Moore.
And I'm Shawna Moore.
And I'm Jacqueline Gladhill. And we're so glad that you're spending part of your day with us.
Hi, yes. Jacqueline. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I am living my best life because I get to do this podcast with the two of you.
Good answer. That's a very
really good answer.
I genuinely miss you guys each week. And, you know, we have this type of relationship to our listeners out there. You know, we text, we send memes, we send, you know, all the shorts on Instagram or whatever. And so we stay in touch.
We have a good time.
Yeah, we do have a good time.
Well,
how are you guys?
We're good. You know,
we've had a busy week.
Busy week with a storm that went through basically half the country, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, our son being in Tennessee at our house there, he made it through. He's 19 and he did okay, didn't lose power. But we have several friends out there that did lose power. So, you know, prayers to all those that are maybe still out of power. A couple people we know still haven't got their power back yet. So I know it's a big mess, you know, in Tennessee especially. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've also heard that some states like South Carolina, North Carolina, they're getting an additional wind this upcoming weekend.
Yeah. Eastern Tennessee is as well part of that.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's just, they can't get a break.
No. And those pictures that we're seeing, you know, whether it's somewhere on social media are real. Mm-hmm. Those aren't AI generated. That's exactly how it looks. And so yesterday was the first day that our son was able to go out to work. Mm-hmm. And, you know, some things surprised him out there. He was like, whoa, he got out of the neighborhood and trees are down. You know, the ice is real. Mm-hmm. And his car was icicles, every part of the car, you know. So, you know, we're thinking about everybody, our neighbors. We're thinking about neighbors in the area we haven't met. And there's a lot of people that are dramatically affected by this. And we, as fortunate as we feel, you know, our thoughts are still with those people as well.
Yeah.
So we had that. And then we had senior night for soccer, which went unbelievable, which was just the coolest night. It went way better than we thought.
Yep.
It was a little bit emotional. I mean, here we are already towards the end of soccer season. The girls haven't lost yet.
Wow.
All the seniors in the senior night game scored, which was unreal. We were shocked.
Unbelievable.
And there's go ahead.
Wasn't the score 9-0?
It was actually 12-0. 12-0.
Yeah.
I mean, they played out of their minds and they played together.
It was really fun to watch.
They were very supportive of each other. The non-seniors were super supportive of the seniors. They kind of took a little bit of a back seat. And it was broadcast two different ways. Then the halftime ceremony and then afterwards. And it was just really cool. You know, and it's, you know, obviously, selfishly speaking, we think about our daughter a lot, but it's also about her friends and teammates and stuff. And they're the neatest girls, the neatest group of friends.
They really are.
Yeah, we're very fortunate.
We're going to miss them and the parents.
The parents are rad too.
Yes. And I also just want to share with our listeners that your daughter is committed for soccer.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to share more about that, but that's a huge accomplishment.
She not only is committed, she's committed to Volunteer State, which is in Gallatin, Tennessee. This is the first year that they're going to have a soccer program for the women. So we found out, is the first ever women's soccer commit in the history of that college. And she'll always be that. So she's over the moon. She's super happy and excited about it. I know she's going to be sad to leave some of her friends, but hey, it's Tennessee. Her friends have an open door. They can come out whenever they want.
Yep.
And their families, of course.
Yes.
So,
and the fact that you guys are all moving there together seems like right up the alley.
Yeah. Exactly. No, it's going to be neat. It's a good time. You know, we're at the stage where we're just really taking a back seat and just kind of stopping and smelling the roses and
enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be good. But there's another thing we're enjoying, Jacqueline.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
Football season. So for the listeners out there who haven't figured it out, we are huge Seahawks fans. And it consumes both sides of our family. This is how Shawna and I met. We were both in Seahawks gear in Southern California, and we met. at a Subway, which is super romantic. But we met by, that was the first thing we had in common, talking about the Seahawks, and that's kind of a big deal. Mm-hmm. So we're out of our minds right now, and we're trying to soak it all in. And it just it's besides the safety and the storm and all that kind of stuff, it is the first thing on our mind. It's hard to stay focused.
Yep.
So let me just fill in. Yeah, let me just fill in the listeners here on what's going on. The Seahawks are officially in the Super Bowl with the Patriots.
Yep.
And so, according to, I guess, Shawna and I, Dave, you are officially full Seahawks analysis mode. And this is going to go on until the after the next
Super
2 Bowl.
weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we got to come down from that, whether we win or lose. So we have about 3 weeks here that we'll be out of our minds with it. But, it's kind of like retirement planning. When you talk about Seahawks analysis mode, you got to believe in preparation, discipline, of course, yelling at the TV.
Yeah, and that's not occasional, but I do want to add in one point about the story about Subway is that we actually met right before the last time the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl to play the Patriots. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, the Seahawks have not had the greatest season after season. They've made some playoffs, but they haven't done very well. So this is the first time. So we've kind of joked about how we maybe gave them bad luck because they lost the Super Bowl and then they've never gone back or even come close. So this is our first time to really enjoy the Seahawks season.
We made a joke about maybe we jinxed it by meeting kind of thing. So this is a little redemption for us. We happen to play the same team. And we like the Patriots. Mad respect for the Patriots. And we have friends that are Patriots fans. But when we play the Patriots, it's war and they feel the same thing. But we have some redemption coming from that last Super Bowl. I'm sure the whole city of Seattle feels the same way.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, that is super exciting. And even your office manager, Nicole, and her family, Seahawks territory as well.
They're big Seahawks fans. But like us, we don't just watch the Seahawks. We're emotionally invested in them, which might explain the Super Bowl moment. We all know from the last time we played the Patriots, still feels personal.
It really does. And Patriots fans have fun just rubbing it in still. So I don't know. It is what it is.
Yes. I mean, we all know that, Dave, you get emotionally invested in almost every sport. But that's exactly why it ties so perfectly into this theme today, why retirement fails.
Yes, because just like in football, you really can do almost everything right for years with your retirement planning.
And you can get all the way down to the very end, like the goal line, and something negative can happen, and one bad decision can erase it all.
Yes. So today we're unpacking what the Super Bowl moment teaches us about retirement and how to avoid the financial mistakes that can derail even the best plans.
All right, let's get into it. Welcome to More Wealth Retirement Talk, where finance meets fun.
Join financial expert Shawna Moore,
sports analogy pro and dad joke king Dave Moore,
and Jacqueline Gladhill, who keeps us all on track
as we break down retirement planning with insights,
laughs,
and a whole lot of more wisdom.
Well, if you watch a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl, you know the moment that we're talking about.
Incredible season by the Seahawks. Well, actually by both teams. Strong teams, great strategy.
And then one decision at the yard line.
That's right. Instead of staying with the game plan and running the ball, they threw it. And we all know what happened there. Big time interception, game over, season over, no Lombardi trophy.
Yep. They just had to let Marshawn run with the ball, but they didn't. And what's so powerful about that moment is that, it didn't erase the entire season, but it did define the outcome at the end.
And that's exactly what happens in retirement planning.
Right. I mean, people can do 95% of things right for decades. Saving, investing, working hard.
But if you even just have one poorly timed decision, it truly can change the entire retirement picture.
So as a Seahawk fan, and all the Seahawk fans out there, we all know that moment hurt. But as financial planners, it's also a reminder, preparation matters, but execution at the right moment matters even more.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, and so it's really important that we kind of lay out some reasons why retirement can fail and kind of the big four. So, number one is no clear game plan. So, the first reason retirement fails is pretty simple. People just don't have a real plan set in place.
Exactly. And we see it all the time when people will call us, they have their accounts, they have multiple accounts, they have statements, they have balances, they might have a professional advisor, they might be doing it themselves, but overall, they really don't have any coordinated strategy. It's just a bunch of accounts.
Kind of like showing up to the Super Bowl with all the talent, but no playbook.
Yep. And hope is not a plan.
I've tried that strategy with home improvement projects, and we both know, Shawna, that doesn't end well.
It doesn't end well. No, not at all.
Well, and so on to number two is another major issue is underestimating how long retirement will last.
Yes. And, so underestimating longevity when today, because people are living longer, life expectancy is continuing to get further and further down the road. Retirement can easily span 25, 30, 35 years or more.
Which means your money has to work longer than most people did.
Absolutely. And planning for a short retirement where you might live a lot longer than you expect. And we hear it all the time. People say, I'm not going to live past 75 or 80. But the reality is people are living longer and longer. And we do have clients well into their 90s. But planning for a short retirement is one of the most common mistakes that we see. And then going on to number three, ignoring taxes and inflation. That's one of the hugest things that we see, and a lot of advisors overlook that with their clients. But taxes and inflation can quietly erode your retirement income.
So in a football sense, it's like having a defense you didn't even account for. You don't see them coming until it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And without tax efficient strategies, people often lose far more than they can even expect.
Absolutely. And inflation slowly reduces your purchasing power. So even if you have a stable plan, even for those that say, hey, I have a bond portfolio, I have CDs and things, if you're not earning as much and keeping up with inflation, you may not technically be losing balance in your account, but you're not able to buy as much in the future. So you need to make sure that your accounts are keeping up with inflation. And that's another huge mistake that we see a lot of people making.
And finally, emotional decision making, especially under pressure. We see this in sport. We see this in financial planning. Mm-hmm. It can really get in the way of execution.
Yep. And emotions, market volatility causes fear, and sometimes it's justified. But a lot of times what we've seen over the last several years is that people are so emotional over market volatility, even a slight dip. And sometimes it's the media and the social media and everything else that's coming out saying, they're going to hit rock bottom. And so then people make emotional decisions, and that makes a huge detriment to their overall retirement plan.
Absolutely. Emotions drive many decisions, and including, fear. This can lead to selling at the wrong time, abandoning strategies, and chasing performance. And really, the ultimate goal of a good retirement strategy is to take the emotion out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sound familiar, Seahawks fans?
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, as Seahawks fans, we know that pressure can make even the best teams rethink their strategy, such as not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch in the last Super Bowl we were at. So,
well, and to bring it back to retirement, this pressure can lead to decisions that you can undo years of preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when you have a game-winning drive, go all the way down the field, you doing everything right until the last second, and you pass instead of run.
Ouch. That still hurts.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, if any of this resonates with you, or if you're wondering whether your retirement plan is truly built to last, we'd love to talk with you.
You can reach us directly at 833-4 My Wealth, or visit us online at www.morewealthmanagement.net.
You can also listen to all of our past and future episodes anytime at morewealthtalk.com or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon.
And if you call in, be sure to ask about getting a complimentary copy of Shawna's book, Retire with More, the holistic approach for relaxed retirement, available on Amazon.
We're happy to send you a copy, our way of helping you build clarity and confidence about your financial future. So, what can people do right now Dave, to avoid these, last yard mistakes?
Well, start with a comprehensive retirement income plan, not just investments.
Yes, absolutely. And make sure that plan accounts for things like taxes. You want to make sure that you're looking at healthcare, inflation, the proper or most appropriate Social Security time and when to start your benefits, and estate planning. They're all part of that strategy. And unfortunately, some advisors don't look at these things. They don't make investment changes as you're nearing retirement, and changing your investment strategy to include some income generating investments that have less volatility, and actually doing true real income planning, which is what we specialize in. I am, retirement income certified professional. That's what we do. And so if your advisor is not talking about all these things, give us a call, or at least find an advisor that you feel comfortable with that might be able to go through some of these extra things with you.
And revisit your plan regularly.
Yes, because life changes, markets change, and so do your goals.
Kind of like my opinion about carbs during football season.
Come on, Dave. I thought we were dieting this January.
Just saying. Hey, discipline's a journey.
Outside of the Super Bowl for you, right?
Yep.
But, as Seahawks fans, again, that Super Bowl 11 years ago taught us something very important.
Success isn't just about talent or effort. It's about making the right decisions at the right time.
And retirement is no different.
It really isn't. And, you all of our listeners, everyone deserve a retirement that reflects your decades of hard work, not one defined by a single misstep that affects your future.
Absolutely, Shawna. And that's why we believe in holistic planning, because every piece of the puzzle matters.
Mm-hmm.
Before we wrap up today, we want to leave our listeners with a few important questions.
If you already are working with an advisor, ask yourself this: are these conversations like what we're discussing today, are they happening with your advisor?
Or do you have a written retirement income plan, or just a collection of accounts?
Mm-hmm. And has anyone shown you how taxes will impact your retirement income? Not just today, but 10, 20, 30 years from now.
And have you talked to your advisor about inflation, healthcare costs, and whether your income will actually keep up with your lifestyle?
Has anyone explored whether Roth conversions could reduce your lifetime tax burden? Or are you just hoping taxes don't rise?
That's a good one.
And is your portfolio being actively managed with intention?
And not just based on your risk tolerance, but making sure it's aligned with your actual goals, your retirement timelines, and your income needs.
Because retirement doesn't fail from lack of effort. It fails from lack of clarity and lack of intention.
Exactly. And so if you're not sure about the answers to these questions, it might be a good time for a second opinion.
Absolutely. And we'd love to help you gain that clarity, that purpose, and that intention.
You can reach us at 833-4-MY-WEALTH, or visit us online at www.morewealthmanagement.net.
You can also listen to all of our episodes anytime at morewealthtalk.com or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. And don't forget to subscribe and comment.
And don't forget to ask for your complimentary copy of Shawna's book, Retire with More, The Holistic Approach for Relaxed Retirement.
Everyone, we truly do appreciate and thank you for spending part of your day with us. And we hope that this episode was both entertaining and helpful for your retirement future.
Until then, plan smart, stay disciplined,
and build a retirement that actually works.
And as always, go Hawks.
Thanks for tuning in to More Wealth Retirement Talk with Shawna,
Dave,
and Jacqueline.
We hope you enjoyed the mix of financial insight,
sports wisdom,
and a few dad jokes along the way.
Join us next week for more ways to plan smart,
laugh often,
and retire with confidence.
Advisory services are offered through More Wealth Partners, LLC, an investment advisory in the state of Tennessee. Insurance products and services are offered through More Wealth Management, LLC, an affiliated company.